Bring the lights down low. Time for blood to flow. Ghosts and ghouls, you know what we mean. But all the terror that makes you scream. Some movies creep, some make you leap. There's killer plants or blobs. We cover them all on your favorite pod. So many horrors we can choose. Even when you win, you lose. Because the call is coming from inside the room. Life ends pretty fast. Some screams fade, but some chills will last. The killers stalk and then they slash. It's the 30-something movie podcast. The clock rings out the midnight chimes. We all go a little mad sometimes. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. And if you're in space, they can't hear you scream. Some screams fade, but some chills will last.
That's right. If you're in space, they can't hear you scream, but they can hear you send a radio message that's chock full of DNA that, I guess, let's just take it and combine it with human DNA, because why not?
Let's see what could go wrong.
What could possibly go wrong? Because apparently government Gandhi decided that this was going to be a good idea. I'm sorry. I can't look at Ben Kingsley without thinking Gandhi. So
And so before the recording, Pat asked a very prescient question.
Yes.
How did this get made? And I responded that, horror movies get made for less. The question I want answered is, how did you get Ben Kingsley to do this movie?
well, that's a good question. Yeah.
We're talking about Sir Ben Kingsley. Now, I don't know if he's
Sure.
Sir Ben Kingsley in 95, but
Yeah, I don't recall.
Well, this is pretty much, I mean, if you think about it, Ben Kingsley was Trevor, the Mandarin.
Yes.
I'm trying to complete blank.
the
Who's the other guy?
The Mandalorian.
Oh, you have,
the Mandalorian would have been fun too.
yeah, and then you have Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Doc Ock's in it, and then I'm drawing a blank. There's someone else from Star Wars that's in it.
Right. My name is Trevor from Mandalore. I'm a part of the Death Watch, and yeah, I could bring him in warm or I could bring him in cold. You know what I'm saying? It's I'm in this is the way, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then
it
who's
was
the other
fun
one?
seeing Michael Madsen.
Yes. You're
Yeah.
asking about Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, Saw
Yes,
Gerrera
Saw
was in it.
Gerrera.
So basically, this is a Disney movie.
Yes. Well, and is this? Oh, it's MGM. I mean, sure. Yes, affiliated with Disney.
Yeah, I mean,
It's close enough. It's close enough for jazz. And I'll tell you.
So you're saying Syl is a Disney princess?
Yes.
Okay.
ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Awkward is right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Michael Madsen was playing that character he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
He was playing Michael Madsen. I'm just assuming that's him.
well, and I feel kind of like the
At
same
this
thing
point,
we discussed
a solid
in
assumption.
Free Willy or Save Willy or Willy the Whale or whatever it was.
I don't know.
It was
That actually happens a few times in this movie.
Hey now.
okay. Okay, now let's keep it clean.
Let's just say we're going to do the best we can with this one, but it is what it is. We need to consider the source material, and we'll try the best we can.
Yeah.
I don't think we might not have even mentioned the name of the movie that we're
I don't
doing.
think we have. I think we've been off on a tangent.
I got a celebrity guest to tell us what movie we're watching tonight. Let's see. Is he here? We got to bring him in from the green room. Oh, that's a bit of a clue too. Bring him in from the green room.
Oh.
Patrick, are you there?
Species.
Okay, great. Thank you. Great. Yeah. That's all we could afford to get him for. So that's
Species.
yes,
Okay.
that's the entire budget for the rest of the year was getting Patrick Stewart to come in and say
Species.
So this has been the 30-something movie podcast. We're going to be doing reruns for the rest of the year now. So thank you for being here. And Bo, thank you for proving my point that, again, there is not that much separation. It's really just like, I think it's like a 2-drink minimum to get from a Patrick Stewart to a Sean Connery.
It's true.
Yeah. Species.
Species.
Don't you pour another drink, Moneypenny, and we'll try to say some words. Yeah. Yes. So the one we're here to talk about tonight is the movie
Species.
from 1995. It is, how best to describe this? Well, we can describe it the way that the
Well-
original writer for this one described it, and that was Alien meets Playmate of the Month.
There you go.
Mhm.
With a little fever dream mixed in.
A little bit, yeah. And before we started recording, Pat had a question, and it was, how did this get made? We'll talk about that because there was a lot of creative input from some different folks. So
Writing by committee, you say?
it sounds like there was a bit. There was a bit of the original writer, Dennis Feldman, who was involved in this, had this idea like in the late 80s. And then H.R. Giger got involved with the design of the creature. And I think he had some thoughts about it being too close to Alien in some ways. And so he had some thoughts about it. And so I think there was
And he told two friends.
they told two friends, and so on and so on. And yeah. So I don't know if there's too much more we're going to say about the background of this or anything else. We might as well just dive into it. So very, very quickly, we spoil freely here, so just be warned. And make sure you visit our website, 30podcast.com, and leave us a rating, a voicemail. You can become a co-executive producer on Patreon over there and help support the show in that way. Help us keep the lights on here, because it's a little tougher to podcast in the dark. Not that, I mean, sometimes we have. Maybe this is an episode of the 30-something podcast after dark.
Just by nature of its
By nature of the content and the yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Either way, we keep the episodes as clean as we can, depending on the content of the movie, and just to throw it out there, just letting everybody know that the content of this one skews definitely towards the R rating. So while we ourselves do strive to keep things as clean and family friendly as possible, just be aware that there are some things that we're probably going to talk about as we review this one that might, if you're riding in the car and listening with little ones, that maybe this is an episode that you listen to while mowing the lawn.
Right.
with Val Kilmer.
With Val Kilmer. Yes. If you and Val Kilmer, if you've got Val Kilmer in your riding lawnmower sidecar while you're mowing the lawn, then, well, I guess not anymore. Didn't he? He passed away just not that long ago. So.
Well, yeah. So aren't we all listening with Val Kilmer all the time?
At this point, we are all listening with Val Kilmer. He's with us. He's with us in spirit as we're mowing the lawn. We stand a legend. R.I.P. Val. All right. So let's jump into this one. This one came out on July 7th, 1995, rated R for sci-fi violence.
No kidding.
No kidding. Rated R for some sci-fi violence. I believe there's some language in there as well. And I don't know, there might be some other content in here that might be considered part of an R rating. Oh, that strong sexuality stuff is definitely present in this movie. So, runtime is 1 hour and 48 minutes. Directed by Roger Donaldson, did 13 Days and Dante's Peak. Writers were Dennis Feldman, who did The Golden Child and Real Men. Producer was Frank Mancuso Jr. and Dennis Feldman. Mancuso did Stigmata and April Fool's Day. Feldman did Species 2. Well, here, we paid for Patrick Stewart, so let's do it.
Species.
Feldman also did
Species
2 and
Species
3. So
there are 3 of these?
Oh, Bo, there are 4 of these.
Oh, Lord.
There is and I've seen...
Was unaware of the breadth of the Species universe.
Yes.
Churn them out.
Churn
them out.
I have seen
Species,
and I've also seen
Species
2. I have
not.
not.
I expected you to go straight to Species 3.
I haven't seen
given your predilection for movies that end in 3.
Well, correct, but I have not seen
Species
3 or
Species
The Awakening. Those last 2 were, I believe, either TV movies or straight to video deals.
That would make sense.
So I have not seen those, but yes, I have seen the first 2 of these. And I believe at least the first 3 of these are available on Tubi. So if anybody is wanting to experience the
Species
franchise, then you can absolutely do that on Tubi if you want to for free.
There it is.
So we're going to get our money's worth out of having Patrick on here. So
I think
it's
you've got a legend, you got to use him.
Right.
Okay, just stop it.
We take full advantage.
Oh, jeez.
Not you, Patrick. Patrick Stewart.
Okay, good. I'm
Wow.
getting confused.
Wow.
I'm getting confused.
Check out the ego.
Yeah.
Check out the ego on the celebrity here.
Oh, for God's sakes! All right. All right.
He thinks the whole
Hoisted on your own petard.
you hoisted on your own Picard there, my friend.
Oh, there it is.
All right. Look, if this is the treatment I'm going to get, I might just have to go to sleep. I'm just saying.
Oh, since when has that stopped you?
Okay, that's a fair point. I resemble that remark.
Yes, you do.
Oh.
Wow, you think the whole just because I say Patrick, you think you're the only Patrick in the world, and you think the whole thing revolves around you, which I mean, frankly, it usually does, but Patrick Stewart, Pat, that's who I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Let's for Pat's benefit, let's make sure that anytime on the podcast, yes, for Pat's benefit and the rest of the
Species.
listening audience, from here on out, the rest of the episode, we will refer to Patrick Stewart as Patrick S. And Pat, we will refer to as Patrick C. And then that way we can distinguish between the two. If that works for everyone.
I'm game.
Well,
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. All right.
My soul is prepared.
Okay. All right. Well, it better be. I've been trying to hold off on this because I don't think I'm going to be able to pronounce the cinematographer's name when we get to it here in a second. So, composer was Christopher Young, who did Hellraiser 2 and The Fly 2. A lot of sequel action there. Cinematographer is Andrzej Bartkowiak.
Andrzej
Bartkowiak.
Species.
Okay.
Indeed.
Yes. When all else fails. He did cinematography
Ankylosaur.
for Ankylosaur. Yes.
That's right.
We'll bring out all the Star Trek here. Cinematography was done by that person who did Speed and Lethal Weapon 4. The editor was Conrad Buff, big muscular guy. He did Titanic and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Thank you, Bo, for flexing, although no one on the podcast can see you do that, but
Oh, that was just for you, boys.
I wanted to let the people know. Oh, Bo's showing off for us. Isn't that special?
Species.
Yeah, it's
Special. Production company is MGM, Metro Goldwyn Mayer. Budget of $35 million. Box office approximately $113.3 million. Flick Metrics gives it a 58%, and Cinema Score gives it a B-. Natasha Henstridge, in her first movie role, plays Syl. She was in The Whole Nine Yards and Ghosts of Mars. Ben Kingsley plays Xavier Fitch. He was in Gandhi and Schindler's List. Michael Madsen plays Michael Madsen. He was in Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill Volume 1. Actually, I'm going to, just for a moment, I'm going to poke fun at the writer and whoever came up with the names for coming up with like the most pretentious sci-fi action movie names of all time with Xavier Fitch and Preston Lennox. Kind of feels like somebody cracked open a "so you want to write a movie" type book and was like, what names could we choose? Preston Lennox. That sounds good. Xavier Fitch. That sounds like a real name. I don't know. There was something about, even the very first time I watched these movies and they said the names, I was like, those don't sound like real people names.
Yeah.
Those sound like movie character names.
Well, again, it is a horror movie.
It is true. It is true. Alfred Molina was Dr. Stephen Arden. He was in Spider-Man 2 and Frida. Forrest Whitaker was Dan Smithson. He was in The Last King of Scotland and Rogue One. Marg Helgenberger was Dr. Laura Baker. She was in Aaron Brockovich and CSI Crime Scene Investigation. Michelle Williams was young Syl. She was in Brokeback Mountain and Blue Valentine. Whip Hubley played John Kerry, not the presidential candidate John Kerry, the character in this movie, John Kerry. Very different. He was in Top Gun and Ruskies. Anthony Guidera played Robbie. He was in Anaconda and Armageddon. Dana He played Alien Syl in the Transformed Form. She was Natural Born Killers and
Species
2. And then Frank Welker played Alien Syl the voice. So any of the growling, clawing kind of stuff was good old Frank Welker. Most well known as Fred from Scooby-Doo for however long Scooby-Doo's been around. I think, let's see, Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget, Megatron from Transformers, all the really good voice acting stuff has been Frank Welker over the decades. So he was the voice of Alien Syl towards the end of the movie there. All right, a little bit of trivia on this one. The alien design for Syl was created by H.R. Giger. the same artist who designed the alien Xenomorph. Dennis Feldman first wrote the script in the 1980s under the title The Message. The film was a surprise summer hit, earning over triple its budget, despite some mixed reviews on this one. Natasha Hendricks' role as Syl was her film debut, and she actually performed many of her own stunts in this movie. Forrest Whitaker's character, an empathic psychic, was a late addition to the script. One of the things as they were kind of making some changes around. Character was not in some of the original drafts. Go ahead.
I just want to ask this here so I don't forget.
Do it.
Was I just not paying attention when they introduced him as the empathic psychic? Instead, I missed the assemble the team scene where they pan around the room and say,
"What do you do?"
Yeah, like it was just weird.
Well, there is a moment when they ask him, they're like, "What's your thing?" And he's like, "I'm an empath." And he does kind of, they don't really.
Because then there's this couple scenes later, like, aren't you supposed to feel things or something? It was, I don't know, it was just weird.
Yeah, because there's a part where he says, I'm able to, like, something like, I can read people's feelings, or I know what you're feeling, or something like that. And so part of it, although when he first gets introduced, he's at what seems like the psychiatrist's office, and it's like he's able to predict when there's a knock on the door, he's like, oh, that's for me.
Right.
So I don't remember them ever officially saying psychic. I do remember them saying empath, but at different times it's kind of,
well,
I don't know.
Deus ex Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, he's the Deanna Troi of this movie.
Yeah,
Forrest Whitaker is the potted flower of this movie.
Hey, I wouldn't want to see into the mind of the species.
Mm-hmm.
Species.
Yeah. So let's see. I think we got the trailer audio for you, and then we're going to jump into 10 major moments, breaking this one down into 10 moments for you so that we can dive into the plot. We always do say that if you have not seen the movie, definitely go check it out first, then come on back. It is on Tubi, at least at the time of this recording. It and the first 3 at least
species
movies are on Tubi, which is available for free if you want to go stream it real quick and then come on back. But otherwise, let's get you into the quick voiceover of the synopsis here, the Don LaFontaine style voiceover synopsis here. We'll get you into the trailer audio, and then we will do those 10 major moments and then talk about some of our deeper thoughts on this one, whether we might have deep thoughts or not on this one. In a top secret government lab, scientists have created the ultimate experiment, Syl, a stunning alien hybrid with deadly desire to breed. When she escapes, mercenary Preston Lennox and a team of experts must track her down before she turns humanity into her next experiment. This summer, beauty is only skin deep.
In January, a message from an extraterrestrial source was picked up at the Parkes Observatory in Australia. A new sequence of DNA, friendly instructions on how to combine it with ours.
This growth is amazing.
The decision was made to terminate the experiment.
He's breaking out!
She escaped. We have a serious emergency on our hands. I want a team to track her, hunt her down.
You created a monster, now you want us to kill it.
We decided to make it female so that it would be more docile and controllable.
More docile and controllable, huh? I guess you guys don't get out much.
She wants to have a baby.
She'll kill anyone that gets in her way.
I wouldn't hurt you. Yes, you would. Just don't know it yet. She'd have a dozen babies. She could lay 1,000 eggs.
Something's wrong.
She's here!
Get out! Open the damn door!
Oh, God.
All right. So the movie kicks off with cool little bit of 90s sci-fi optimism. The SETI program sending transmissions into space, including some real stuff like I'm going to make sure I'm pronouncing this correctly. Is it the Arecibo message?
Arecibo, yeah.
Okay, the Arecibo message. And then, boom, Earth gets a reply. The aliens have sent back instructions for unlimited fuel. So thanks, guys. That's awesome. And a strand of alien DNA with notes on how to merge it with ours. Because clearly that's a great idea. Not believing these. Sure, let's just trust the aliens. Have these people never seen another alien movie before?
It's kind of sad when you think about it. Like, do you not pay attention?
Right. I mean, frankly, let's work through it a little bit. You've got most of the alien movies that have ever been created, and then on the kind end of things, you've got like E.T. and Mac and Me, which, I mean, if you want a bunch of people running around looking like Dobby from Harry Potter, sure, let's mix our DNA with one of those guys.
Well, there was, Alf was fuzzy.
Well, he was, but you want to mix human DNA with Alf?
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, most times when we encounter aliens, either they want to kill us or they're just kind of weird looking. And I'm not trying to belittle the visual appeal of different types of aliens here, but they don't, I don't know, the mixing of the human DNA with just don't play around with it.
Okay, I can understand it.
I mean, frankly, well, we just got done with the whole dinosaur thing like 2 years ago.
Well, done is an interesting way to say that.
Well, that's true, because it will never be done because the franchise continues. It keeps knitting and knitting and knitting. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, they decide that they're going to build a hybrid life form by putting the alien DNA into human eggs, and now the killer alien, it's in your blood. When they decide to build this hybrid, because that's always worked out really well inside.
As you do.
As you do. Let's just mix things, because why not?
Apparently.
Under the direction of Xavier Fitch, played by Ben Kingsley, who, because I won't remember the name Xavier Fitch, and he always makes me think of his role in Gandhi, I am calling him Government Gandhi. So Government Gandhi, in his lab, creates a female alien-human hybrid named Syl. She looks like a sweet little girl, but ages faster than a Marvel franchise, going from newborn to preteen in about 3 months.
Well done.
When I wrote some of these notes, I might have been a little punchy.
It seems that way.
So,
but it serves you well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Punchy, which I think is going to be the sequel to Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings or whatever that one was.
Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Going from newborn to preteen in about 3 months. Plan was to make her female so she'd be more docile and controllable. Yeah, right. When Syl starts having violent outbursts in her sleep, Government Gandhi decides that she's too dangerous to keep alive and orders her terminated with cyanide gas. Naturally, that goes horribly wrong. Syl breaks out of her containment chamber in an explosive escape scene, leaving behind a trail of dead scientists and one big government problem on the loose. Realizing they might have unleashed something catastrophic, you think, the government pulls together an elite tracking crew. Dr. Laura Baker, the no-nonsense biologist, Dr. Stephen Arden, an anthropologist who's maybe not cut out for field work, especially when, spoiler alert later on, he sleeps with someone that he's never really seen before and magically shows up in his hotel room in the midst of a mission where they've been trying to deal with an alien that wants to mate.
Yeah, when you put it like that, no can defend.
Yeah, Dr. Stephen Arden, not the brightest anthropologist in the box of light bulbs.
No.
That's not how that works. Psychic empath Dan Smithson, tough as nails mercenary Press Lennox. Their job, find Syl before she mates and wipes out humanity. No pressure, though. No pressure. Okay. And that's the problem, too, is that that is her whole goal, is what we are learning very quickly is, and that might have been one of the mistakes of making her female to begin with, is that is her drive now that she has reached her near final form as a creature here, is that she wants to mate. So very clearly, I think, missed opportunity not to have this as the theme music in the opening credits of this movie was.
She's going to get you. All that she wants is another baby. She's gone tomorrow, boy. All that she wants is another baby. Yeah.
So I missed opportunity, I feel, not to have that as the theme music for the movie.
Well, you can't get them all. Sometimes even when you win, you lose.
Usually, typically, yes, especially in movies like this.
Yeah.
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 Well, I had a comment. We'll come back to that later. Meanwhile, Syl grows into. I have all kinds of comments, but we may or may not come back to later. Meanwhile, Syl grows into her adult form, or what the horror and alien movie aficionados call the final form, now played by Natasha Henstridge, and makes her way to Los Angeles. She is stunning, she is smart, and she's scarily efficient. Using her enhanced strength, speed, and adaptability, she kills anyone who gets in her way, all while learning about human life, love, and a little Tinder-style dating with a body count. Syl's attempts to find the perfect mate don't go so smoothly. She meets Robbie, a diabetic guy she decides isn't genetically ideal, and kills him when he gets too close. Good thing she didn't run into Wilford Brimley.
Oh my goodness.
Is nobody safe?
No, nobody's safe. Not at all. Not even Wilford, my buddy there. You know, in fact, if she had just recognized that he was diabetic from the beginning, she wouldn't have to kill him. Just walk away.
Right.
Just there's no need to kill him. Because you can be a diabetic and it can help you avoid a gruesome death.
Just got to manage your diabetes.
Call me for your diabetes, and diabetes testing supplies. Can help you live a better life. She hooks up with a man named John Kerry, again, not the presidential candidate, as far as we know, after she's in a car crash. But when he panics, she kills him too. This is like speed dating meets Alien here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Each should get. Pat can't wait till we get to the end of the 10 major moments, because I think he's got comments that may last about 20 seconds, and then Pat's done.
Yes.
To-
That's going back.
To quote Austin Powers, he's going to be giving Fast and Furious comments for, I don't know, maybe a little bit, and then he's spent.
Yeah.
Let's see. Each encounter shows how far she will go to complete her biological mission. After her latest murder, Syl flees into the forest.
I don't know. That's just funny to me at this hour.
Yeah. It reaches a point where everything's funny. After her latest murder, Syl flees into the forest and kidnaps a woman to steal her identity. The team closes in, leading to a car chase that ends in a fiery crash, literally into a high-voltage transformer. Syl, of course, leaps out just in time, leaving her victim to die. She then chops and dyes her hair to go a little incognito. Somewhere in there, she even starts developing feelings for Preston, because sure, what's a lethal alien movie without a little forbidden attraction there?
I was say, what's the Catch Me If You Can version of Stockholm Syndrome?
Sure, yeah. Well, it's Michael Madsen. It's just that character. It just seems so familiar to her because she's learning everything from TV. So she probably turned on a movie and saw Michael Madsen, and it's the same character every single time. Mm-hmm. Thinking the threat is possibly over, the team celebrates Syl's quote-unquote death at a hotel. Classic rookie move here. Everybody kind of lets their guard down. But Syl is definitely alive and watching them like a silent predator. She kills a maid to get a master key and sneaks into their rooms. Arden, who is drunk and lonely, ends up finding Syl waiting in his bed. They sleep together. She gets instantly pregnant. Before he can even regret his choices, she kills him. So that is the end of naive Mr. Dr. Arden. Bit of a sewer showdown, because why not? Anytime you can go underground and try to fight an alien monster in a sewer or some type of place with ladders and grates and things like that. A very, very earthbound kind of aliens feel to it. Syl transforms back into her full alien form and retreats into the sewers, which is exactly where you'd expect the finale of a 90s sci-fi thriller to happen. The team follows her underground in a mix of suspense and slime. Government Gandhi does not make it. She kills him in brutal fashion before giving birth to a freakish offspring that starts to mature in minutes, and things are getting very aliens very fast.
I'm just going to say, when the offspring was running around, I feel like they found some kid and basically didn't even tell him they were in a movie or
Yeah.
do any explanation, because that kid walked around, looked as shocked to be on the screen
Mhm.
as I was to find myself watching it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think that was acting. I
Yes.
feel like that kid was just kind of walking around just like, why are there adults with cameras and
Mhm.
why am I covered with mud and what is going on here?
Yeah.
Just-
Run, child.
Just yes.
Yeah. And so we get some interesting CGI here. It's a bit dated and a little rough around the edges sometimes. I mean, it's no Scorpion King, but there's some spots that are a little rough.
Old, yes,
Mhm.
but interesting.
Yeah, and some very interesting parts as they start to. We have full on H.R. Giger style alien-ish kind of design here, and especially if you've seen any of his other art, he does have some characters that look very much like. In fact, I feel like this design of Syl is very much more his general style kind of before he designed the xenomorphs for Alien. Like there's a lot of figures in some of his artwork, female figures that look like this kind of final form of Syl in this movie. And so this is very much an H.R. Giger design and very, very close to some of his kind of most famous artwork. Yeah, we get some interesting body horror going on in the last little bit here. And I think there's a part where is it? I'm trying to remember. I think it's the part where Michael Madsen, whatever character's name was other than Michael Madsen, is tracking her down and tries to catch up with her with his flamethrower. And there are some interesting tentacles that come out and grab him around the neck and try to strangle him.
Interesting tentacles. That's a good way to put that.
Yes. Biologically, I don't know what those are called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they nipticles?
Oh boy.
Is that the word?
Best I got.
Okay, that's as close as we're gonna get.
Mhm.
The real question here, though, is
it cold in here?
well, the final battle is pure chaos. The baby attacks. Smithson torches it with a flamethrower. Preston finishes Syl with a grenade launcher because that's how you deal with interspecies hybrids. The survivors emerge, scarred but relieved. I did for a moment when there's fire involved and there's like oil in the ground and everything else. I did for a moment, if we were going to have a kind of a sympathetic ending, I did miss maybe a deleted scene where she gets lowered into the flaming oil and just puts a thumbs up just as she goes down. I thought that would have been a really nice 90s action movie touch. The survivors emerge from underground, scarred but relieved, until we see one final chilling image. A rat nibbling on one of Syl's severed tentacles, mutating on the spot. Humanity's biggest problem might have just have a sequel in the works. Or 2 or 3.
Species.
Species.
Yes.
2.
Electric Boogaloo. Yeah. Oh, a dancing Syl. That could have been fun. That does not happen, I don't believe, in
Species.
2. But again, I have not seen
Species.
3 or
Species.
The Awakening, so it's possible that happens in those. Oh. All right. I think the only question we have left to ask now is, do we have any deeper thoughts? So let's dive on into some of our deeper thoughts here.
And now, deep thoughts.
When was the first time you saw this movie? And generally, without getting into our deeper thoughts, did you enjoy it?
This past weekend, I saw it.
Really? Okay.
And then enjoy is an interesting word. It was fine.
Okay.
I don't think I'm the audience for this. Horror is not really like my thing.
It's not your bag.
Yeah. But it wasn't bad. I
Okay.
mean, as horror movies go, I mean, it's got some pretty serious cred in the actors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just Ben Kingsley alone.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have to admit, I don't know that it was peak Ben Kingsley either.
True.
But
Okay. Well, let me, and this might be a question for Pat too. Because we've said this about some movies in the past that you said, I'm not the target audience for this movie. So who do you think the target audience for this movie is? If it's not you, then who is the target audience for this movie?
someone else.
I think there are people that are really into body horror.
Okay.
And I think for those people, this might be great.
Okay. All right. Patrick, I know you had some thoughts. Before we get into the deeper thoughts, let me just ask, when was the first time you saw this? I'm going to take a wild guess and say it was probably very recently.
Very recently.
Okay. And what are your just initial thoughts on it?
Basically, exactly what Bo said. I just don't think I'm the target audience. I I find it interesting. I feel like I've seen various elements of this movie in other movies or episodes from various TV shows that I've watched. This was okay. I don't know if the maybe I don't know if the movie was executed as well as it could have been. You know, I think there were some rough edges just in terms of pacing and editing and dialogue and script, and the list goes on. But I just you know, I'm not going to rail on it because I just don't know that it's my thing. I think other people, like you said, that are into a genre. I seem to find this a lot with horror movies where, you know, if it's top line Oscar worthy movie on down to it's got a little rough edges, people will enjoy it just kind of for the concept. And I think people will enjoy this just for the concepts that are presented in it. So yeah, that's where I'm that's as far as I'll go with that.
Sure. Yeah. For me, this is one that I saw probably not too long after it came out on video. I was definitely too young to see it in the theaters. But I think part of the reason why I would have caught this pretty early on would have been, I mean, I love a good sci-fi movie. I love a good body horror movie. I think, but part of what drew me to this as well was, I want to say, even though I wasn't old enough to go see it in the theaters when it came out in theaters, the poster and the trailers, I immediately noticed. I was like, wait a minute, that's H.R. Giger. That's my buddy. Like, I like his stuff. He's Alien. He's the Alien guy. And I remember when we lived in England, there was a book at the local library that was The Art of H.R. Giger, and I would check this thing out all the time. And just, I was like, this is so weird and off the wall stuff, and it's not like anything I've ever seen. I mean, my dad loved history and art and all kinds of other stuff, so we got taken to art museums and things all the time. And this was nothing like, his artwork was nothing like I had seen in any other museums ever. And so I think that, and loving the movie Alien, that kind of, you know, all that brought together was like, I am really interested in his work and like his mixing of, you know, just humanity and almost like a mechanical, but also alien, almost maybe insect-like kind of designs, but also everything very, very kind of smooth and organic and just a really interesting combination of things. So I think initially, other than the things you would think that like a teenage boy would go, you know, watch this movie for, a lot of what I remember was I saw the trailer and I was like, I know that design. I know that creature design because I've read the art book that creature design came from. And I love the movie Alien, and this looks like another movie that's like Alien. So I think I would have leaned into it pretty heavily because of a lot of that stuff. And so I saw it not too long after it came out. I didn't see it in theaters, but when it came out on video, I definitely saw it then. I want to say I probably watched it a few times in the late 80s. And then I think I watched it, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And then that would have been the last time that I would have seen it before watching it this week for the podcast. So I think when you both said that you're not necessarily the target audience for this one, I think in a few different ways, I am the target audience for this one, mostly because of that blending of the body horror and the art of, and the design of the artist that did that. And so that, I think that it drew me to it right away. Now, the quality of the movie, I think even as a teenager, I recognized, I'm like, this is not, nobody's winning any acting awards here in terms of the writing of the movie. Nobody's, I don't think, winning like best screenplay for this either. So that was pretty clear to me early on, is that this is, we're going to do this more for the action and more for the alien type stuff rather than an actual, quality story necessarily.
Yeah.
So, but you did ask. So, Pat, you had asked kind of early on, like, well, how does this thing get made? And I did pull some information on that. We started with, and I mentioned a little bit of that when we went into some of the trivia parts. So the original concept was called The Message, and writer Dennis Feldman kind of first came up with this back in 1987. So this is way before you would have had the CGI to be able to do the aliens the way they kind of did them in this movie. And it was called The Message. That was his earliest script, and it was about humanity receiving alien contact and deciding to experiment with the DNA that they get sent. So this is even before we have the movie Jurassic Park. So it's not necessarily that it would have been, I mean, maybe the book, but wouldn't necessarily have been influenced by that. Feldman himself kind of mentioned this early, described it as an Alien meets Playmate of the Month, kind of a blend of science fiction, horror, sex appeal, and Hollywood loved the idea, but they didn't know quite what to do with it in the late 80s. So it got bounced around to a bunch of different studios for years. MGM then decided to take a chance on it in the early 90s. And so then they brought in the Australian director Roger Donaldson. He had already made some thrillers like a movie called No Way Out and White Sands. So they were kind of looking at this as, we want this to be a bit of a mix of a monster movie and a chase thriller. So let's make this a little bit of a chase thriller, a genetically engineered Frankenstein story disguised as an alien invasion kind of deal. And they knew that he, in other movies that Donaldson had done, they knew he could handle like the tension and the pacing of it all. But I don't think he had anything that was kind of, big budget sci-fi that he had done before this. So they brought him in to work on it. One of the biggest reasons it looks the way it does is because of H.R. Giger, who designed the xenomorph for Alien. And they I think he was the first person the studio reached out to, and they said, look, we need to create this alien human hybrid. And so we need you to design this for us. And one of the funnier parts of this story is, and I can completely see what I've read about H.R. Giger, I can completely almost see the conversations that might have ensued. His original design, if you can believe it, his original designs for the Sill alien were much darker and more overtly sexual. So,
okay.
So if you are Arsenio Hall, that's one of those things that make you go, okay. And because of his early designs, MGM reached back out to him after receiving them and said, look, we're going to need you to tone these down because we'd like to at least reach an R rating. So, yeah. He also apparently sculpted a full adult life-size alien model and was very heavily involved in influencing some of the transformation scenes and kind of what all that looks like. And he was not happy, apparently, with how kind of his vision got altered in some of the post-production when they did the CGI. But you can tell, like, as you have the different designs throughout the movie, you can absolutely tell that he was very much involved in all of this. Casting Natasha Henstridge, this was her first movie, and so they wanted someone who you wouldn't be able to connect with anything else. They're like, well, we want somebody who's not, you can't associate her with anything else. So she was at the time, I believe, just 20 years old, Canadian model. She'd never acted before. I think they auditioned several hundred women, and that's the one that they had ended up landing on. And they basically said, we need somebody that looks really good and can play some of these transformation scenes and just be extremely physical. And, if you're able to do some of your own stunts, that's even awesome too.
I'm just going to put this in there, and I don't want to see stuff where it isn't, but what's come to light with everything in Hollywood, I just hope everybody was okay with, the amount of clothing on and all that, because maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I'm hearing want a young and up-and-coming actress that hasn't been in a lot, so no one associates her with anything. And I don't know. I just hope that situation wasn't taken advantage of in some of the scene choices. I'm just going to put that out there. Maybe everything was fine.
There are some potential red flags here. Yeah.
Oh, one. Yeah. Yeah. You could say that.
Yeah. Cut one or two red flags, but yeah. The studio leaned very heavily onto the beautiful but deadly angle. In fact, I think the trailer tagline was something like, or the poster tagline was something like, Men cannot resist her. Mankind may not survive her. And so then when it came out in July of 95, it was like right in the middle of summer blockbuster season, and it made bank. Like it was making money. Critics didn't really care for it so much, but audiences seemed to really love it. And I think it ended up making what numbers? I don't remember what numbers we quoted earlier, but I think it was like 3 times its original budget. And then had, they had, was it at least 3 sequels? And I believe they even tried to adapt it to a TV series at one point too. So it has also been one of the, I forget which company it was, but one of the companies picked it up and did a comic book series on it as well. So it is, I mean, it's a lot of, it's very, very 90s. Like when you look at all the parts of it coming together, it's a very, very 90s movie. It's the 90s action. It's a little bit part B movie creature feature. It's, like Creature from the Black Lagoon kind of deal. It's part erotic thriller. It's part high concept sci-fi thriller chase movie. Like there's a lot of very 90s things that are happening in this. So I feel like if you wanted to kind of take it that route, in short, it feels like it's because a studio wanted another Alien movie, but Alien with more nudity.
Yeah, there's definitely more of that.
Yeah.
Gratuitously so.
Right. And that's mostly what it's remembered for. I mean, it's remembered for the nudity, the creature design, but it's a mix of practical effects, some early CGI, not always great, and then there's a little bit of just like that genuine curiosity about alien contact. And I think we get a lot of that kind of continuing to grow in the 90s, especially as you get into having X-Files and movies like Contact and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it was, we want Alien, but we want Alien, but we want to add a little something to this. And so I think what they were hoping was what the movie Alien did for the 1970s, this was going to do for the 1990s. And honestly, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but it was one of the most successful sci-fi horror movies of the entire decade. So, I mean, there are reasons why it spawned all the sequels, because for its genre, it did very well in 95. So that's what I know. That's the backstory of what I know about. Hold on.
Species.
There we go. Thank you. Sorry, Patrick he went on a little drink break. He had to get.
I had to go grab him from the restroom.
Yeah, he was making some tea upstairs. Earl Grey, hot. So that's what I got. I mean, I think my take on it, to your point, Pat, I think the hope is that there seems to be some things in the possible making of this movie that could sway on the, I hope that was all on the up and up kind of side.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, like, this is one that I definitely gravitated towards, and it was I will say the primary reason, and I'm not joking about this. The primary reason was the H.R. Giger alien design, because I always thought that design was just so cool. Just the original alien design, the art books, and it just is so very different than any other art I had ever seen, that I just was immediately like, this is weird. I don't know if I like this, but it's just weird enough that I feel kind of captivated by it. And so when this movie came out, it was like, yes, the alien design for the movie Alien is very much his stuff, and you can totally tell that he designed it. But when this one came out, and I saw in the trailer the Sill creature for the first time, I was like, that is straight out of the pages of that Art of H.R. Giger book that I've checked out from the library so many times. So that was kind of like a, when you see it, maybe kind of had the feeling of like going to see Avengers for the first time, and it's like, I never thought I would see this on the big screen. I'm seeing all of my favorite superheroes. I'm seeing that. So it was a similar kind of feeling. It was like, I never thought I would see this in a movie, and this is outstanding. This is good stuff. So I think that is why you mentioned that you are not the target audience. I am absolutely the target audience for this, but also willing to admit that it's not, in terms of its quality, not a great movie. So it's more one of those, if you want to pop some popcorn and throw something on in the background, and while you're working on something else, or if you got nothing else to do, maybe just kind of a fun one to take a look at. Now, Species 2, I'm sorry,
Species.
2,
2. Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. A lot more singing and dancing in that one than you would expect. But I did start putting that one on maybe earlier today or yesterday on Tubi. And that one I've only seen maybe once. And so it has a little bit of a different take. Natasha Henstridge is back in that one, but it's a slightly different take. I believe there is a mission to Mars, and somehow they bring some of the creature alien DNA back from Mars with them. It stows away on a ship that's coming back to Earth. And somehow Michael Madsen is also in that one too. I would assume still playing the same character he always plays in every other movie.
Yeah, why? I mean, the formula seems to work. Why change it now?
At this point, why make a change?
Exactly.
So at some point, I may finish my rewatch of
Species.
2, and then maybe go and watch
Species.
3, because I don't think I've seen that one yet.
That's a lot of species.
It is a lot of species. Yes, if Sean Connery wasn't dead and we could get him, then we'd bring that in. But so, yeah. All right. Well, any final thoughts on this one before we dive into 3 questions?
No, I think I think we established it all. I think it's worth a watch if that's kind of what you're into. If you're, I think it was a really good, your explanation of what drew you to it and kind of where it falls, I think makes a lot of sense. I don't want this to be a backhanded dismissive comment, but if you're into that sort of thing, it's a lot of fun. And I'm not saying that and judging, honestly, but yeah, I think, it kind of, it is what it is. And
Oh, I can't see you on the camera, but I can feel your judgment, Pat.
there is zero judgment. You are falsely feeling your judgment. That's a false positive judgment
Okay. All right.
thing right there. But yeah, your statement that it's very much of the 90s definitely felt that in watching it.
Very much so. Yeah. Yeah. There's no denying the very 90s-ness of this movie.
He asks each traveler 5 questions.
3 seconds. 3 questions.
What were they, cycles?
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Quid pro quo. I tell you things, you tell me things.
I'm not interrupting anything, am I? You really look deep in thought.
So I'll ask you the questions and then we'll see, all right?
All right. Question number 1. Is there a concept for an alien movie you'd like to see that hasn't been done yet? Problem is, so many of them have been done.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's hard.
I'm like, I was rolling through them in my head. I was like, well, you got little gray guys, little green guys, tentacles.
Spaced invaders.
Right. I suppose, and they've probably done that too. But the oceanic creature as alien stuff is always intrigued me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to rip it from Star Trek 4, they sent a probe to talk to the whales.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Did they drop the whales here 1 billion years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Are they spies? So something like that could be interesting.
Didn't they write a book about that? The people that sent the probe.
They
Yep.
did. Yeah.
Did you ever read that? Was it
Yeah.
good?
I did. Yeah.
I was very good. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I believe it's called Probe.
It's called Probe. If you want to find the audiobook, it's actually on YouTube.
There you go.
Well, awesome. And is it worth it to check out? Should I put it on the list?
I think so.
Yeah. Mhm.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I think I read that. I read that probably not too long after the book came out.
All right.
Yeah. No, it's a fun companion to Star Trek 4.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what hasn't been done. After I wrote this question and sent it out, I was like, well, that was a stupid question because I don't know how to answer that. Because some of the ones that are more interesting to me are things that I haven't I feel like I had not seen done before. Like have you guys seen District 9?
Yep.
Yeah, like that's one. That's one I would think of as I haven't really seen that before. It's very much it's old school sci-fi in that you've got a kind of a social message wrapped up in a sci-fi movie, which I think a lot of times is what your sci-fi movies, your alien movies kind of should be and what they typically tend to be. I'm going to steal a little bit of when I asked this question at dinner tonight, I'm going to steal a little bit of maybe Nora's answer for that. And it was her description, and I'm going to get most of it wrong, but her description sounded very much like aliens land on Earth and they land maybe in like a small town somewhere and they don't really understand our customs and our holidays. And so they all get it a bit wrong. And the way she started to describe this, I said, so wait a minute. What you're telling me is it's an alien invasion / Hallmark movie.
There you go.
And so we decided that these aliens, they don't quite understand what it means to have a tree farm in Vermont or to run a small, indie bookstore / cookie shop / coffee shop after they left their job as a, newspaper writer or novelist in whatever city they came from on Mars. But we decided that there would be a movie, and some of the comedy parts of the movie would be that they don't quite understand the different holidays. And so they accidentally put all the trees like upside down in the tree farm. So it kind of looks like, like a butcher's shop with all the trees looking like, dead animal carcasses hanging up from the ceiling. At Valentine's Day, they're accidentally giving out real human hearts, stuff like that. So the alien invasion / Hallmark movie is one that maybe hasn't been done quite yet. And so we're on board for that.
I'll agree. I don't think that's been done.
So we're going to start writing it. We'll see what happens.
There you go. I'd watch. Hallmark, you got to get Mario Lopez.
Yes.
I mean,
okay. All right. Know what to do now.
And you can film it in Long Grove.
That's true. We could.
I think
we could have the alien ship hit the bridge,
like everybody else does.
Everybody else has hit that bridge.
Good Lord.
Uh-huh. That's a very niche comment for any of our listeners that know where Long Grove, Illinois is. We've narrowed it down to the one person that's sitting there just howling with laughter listening to this podcast because they're like, I understood that reference.
Well, whoever you are, it just happened like a week ago.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
Like the 40th time in the last few years.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't decide. I have decided people are hitting it on purpose now.
It may just be a game.
Yeah.
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 It's just too much.
Yeah. So in our movie, yes, the aliens would, as they crash to Earth, they would run into the bridge.
And you'd have to have somebody standing there going, oh no, not again.
Not again.
It's the Spaceballs moment. Yeah. All right. Did we have any other alien movie concepts that you'd like to see?
I think you just won the question. So
Okay.
I'm gonna stay.
Pat wants to see aliens on motorcycles.
Yeah, but that's been done too.
Yeah, I guess so.
The amount of speeder bikes and that you see.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, one of the Terminator movies, there were actually, that's not aliens per se, but
yeah. Well, if they do, if the new DC universe does a Lobo movie, the character of Lobo, he rides a space motorcycle.
Yeah.
So that could be fun.
Motorcycle.
All right. Question number 2. In a movie like this, what part of the alien form or transformation grosses you out to the max?
Ugh. Tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
No matter where they come from.
No. I don't like them on like squid. Like if I have calamari, I don't like the tentacle. Like I don't like tentacles.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. I just don't.
Yeah, those tentacles are scary.
Yeah. So this not a fan of that
and
part in this movie.
Specifically in this one, they're weird, squishy pink sometimes.
Yeah. They're disgustingly fleshy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, the heebies and the jeebies. Yeah. Yeah, anytime the part, I mean, you guys know I love a good body horror movie, but anytime there's something of some kind going into someone's mouth, like that's the part where I'm always
Yep.
like, ugh, no,
Yeah.
no.
Agreed.
Like
That was the other
whether
one.
it's the
Yeah.
face huggers like making their deposit,
Oh,
or in this movie, I think there's at least once or twice where some kind of tentacle ends up in somebody's mouth. I'm like, yep, nope, that's where I take a popcorn break.
Yep. Right there with.
All right, was that your answer too, Pat, or did you have a different one?
I am doubling. Yeah, the
Okay.
tentacles, the going in through the mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all, yeah, all gross stuff. All right, question number 3. If you had escaped from a lab and needed to store up some calories, what kind of pudding cup are you digging into?
chocolate mousse.
Mm-hmm. My spouse's answer to this one was whatever I make on the stove for myself. None of that store-bought stuff.
Mm.
So, Patrick, what pudding cup are you dipping into?
I don't know. I don't have pudding enough, so I'll just say yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I understand with all the body horror and all the stuff that we've just been talking about. I understand this question can be a little off-putting,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm. Well done. Well done. I see what you did there.
yeah. You know what I forgot to say earlier? I was totally going to
What did you
quote. I
forget
was
to say?
totally going to quote Qui-Gon Jinn
Mhm.
when talking about this movie, and the fact that Syl's plan is that she wants to mate, and well, I mean, again, the song.
She's going to get you. All that she wants is another baby.
So anyway, the fact that that's her plan, I wanted to quote Qui-Gon Jinn and just be like, a well-conceived plan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I see what you did there.
see, it's the PG-13 rated dad jokes. That's what we're all about here.
It's a target-rich environment.
It is. That's what we like to call it. Yeah. We like to have fun. Yeah, I think my answer, when I lived over in England, they had these white chocolate pudding cups that were really good.
Mhm.
So I think my answer is the white chocolate pudding cup.
I'll just sample all of your answers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are
that'll
you
be my answer.
in general, you said you don't have pudding a lot. In general, are you a pudding fan, or is that something like, pudding is not something you'd gravitate towards?
I probably wouldn't gravitate towards it, but if everybody's having pudding, like, you know what I'm saying? Gonna do it. Gonna
Yeah.
do the pudding.
You're not gonna kick a pudding cup out of the kitchen.
No.
No. All right. That's going to do it for this one. That'll do it for, hold on, Patrick, Stuart.
Species.
Thank you. There we
Appreciate
go. He's off drinking his tea. It's like he thinks he has free reign of the entire house, and it's just weird.
No. Yeah.
I tried to ask him to take the dog for a walk, and he's like, I only deal with fish. So,
Oh boy.
guys, I have some sad news.
What's that?
This is our last movie of October.
Oh.
So it's
But
the
it's been a
last
good month.
time
It
we
has
get
been.
to hear the theme song.
It has. We do get to hear the theme song. And I have decided anytime we do a horror movie, even if it's not in October, we're just going to use this theme song as the
Okay.
Yeah.
as the theme, because I like it. It's a banger.
Yeah, it's
So
fun.
that's what we're
fun
using it
stuff.
for. But once again, it comes and goes too soon every single time, and I'm going to miss October until we come back to October again next year. Thankfully, every year has an October.
That's right.
This we know, and well, supposedly we hope that continues. But next month we have some really fun movies coming out next month. Next month our theme, while this month's theme was October and mostly vampires, our next month theme is high seas adventures. And so our high seas adventures starting next month. We've got some fun stuff on Patreon too, not related to the high seas stuff. We've got our Rocky Horror Picture Show, which we did with Rob Perry, our October co-host. Rocky Horror Picture Show is reaching its 50th anniversary this year, so we've got that one as our Patreon. I am also going to try with Rob Perry to do another Patreon episode on the show Alien Earth that came out this year. The problem is I need to actually watch it first before we talk about it, because otherwise
That's
podcast.
usually how that works.
That's usually how podcasting on these kind of things work. So I need to watch it first. That being said, I need to find time to watch it first. So We'll see how that goes. But when we get to the high seas adventures, we've got some really fun stuff coming up in the month of November. We've got your Crimson Tide. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Okabooey.
We've got your Waterworld,
Oh my.
which I don't think I've seen since 1995.
Yeah. I was recently informed that Waterworld has an odd distinction.
Its subtitle is Swims with Wolves.
No,
Oh, okay.
but that's funny. It has rides. Like it for a movie that didn't do that well, it has an interesting long tail. There are rides based on Waterworld, and I shouldn't call them rides because they're not. They're water war shows in multiple countries.
Really?
Yeah, based on the water battles in that movie. I don't even know the adjective.
Is this
Surprised is the best I could come up with, but that's lame and not even close to what I mean.
Is this like how that movie we did several years ago called Salute of the Jugger or Blood of Heroes created the sport jugger that gets played in like Germany and
Yeah, like
other spots around the world?
has
Okay.
spawned like theme park shows
Huh.
based on the water battles
Okay.
in like Singapore and like yeah. Who knew?
Okay.
Waterworld.
All right. As long as it doesn't spawn a bottled water company.
Right? Because I ain't touching that.
Nope. That was like number one on the list of things I'm not touching.
Yeah.
We've also doing Cutthroat Island this month, for the month of November, and we've got a very special episode. We do not have one of our 10th anniversary rewatches for November because we are replacing that with a tribute, because I was just recently at the Volo Auto Museum and was able to see a bunch of cars there, a bunch of fun cars, and there was a lot of information there on a Hollywood car designer, George Barris. And if I remember correctly, I believe that around about the time we would be releasing this episode, we're going to do a special episode as a tribute to Hollywood car designer George Barris. And I want to say around the time we'd be releasing this episode would have been, if I got it right, I think it would have been his 100th birthday if he was still alive.
Well, look at that.
So anyway, that's our special episode. So no 10th anniversary rewatch in November, but it will be a special episode on a tribute to car designer George Barris. And then after that one, our very last episode of the month is The Net, which oddly enough, it's called The Net. That's how it fits in with the High Seas Adventures, because nets. Ironically, The Net 2, was it Net 2? Is that no, there's no Net 2. I'm thinking of
There's
Speed
a scene
2.
on a boat.
There's Speed 2, Cruise Control. That's what I'm thinking about. I was thinking of just Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So The Net, Sandra Bullock, Speed 2, and
Yeah, Dick York, Sergeant York. Yeah, that whole thing.
okay.
Yeah. So there's a connection somehow. I don't know. But
Well, all right.
anyway. However you want to do it. Doesn't really matter. We're easy here.
Mhm.
I've heard that about you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. Everybody, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun October. It's been fun tackling the vampires and the wayward angels and the whatever's going on in Jacob's Ladder and all that other fun stuff. But we gotta bring October to a close. So very sad to be leaving this October behind. But I'm sure as we look ahead to next October, there's gonna be some really good stuff for that one as well. So October, we hardly knew ye, but we have to leave you behind and head on into November. So Pat, Bo, thank you for being here.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
And Patrick S., thank you for being here as well.
Species.
Species.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick S.
Mhm.
So we'll leave you with our favorite theme song of all time, and we'll say, everybody be excellent to each other. Go watch some spooky movies, and we'll see you back here next time.
Bring the lights down low. Time for blood to flow. The ghosts and ghouls, you know what we mean. But all the terror that makes you scream. Some movies creep, some make you leap. There's killer plants or blobs. We cover them all on your favorite pod. So many horrors we can choose. Even when you win, you lose. Because the call is coming from inside the room. Life ends pretty fast. Some screams fade, but some chills will last. The killers stalk and then they slash. It's the 30-something movie podcast. The clock rings out the midnight chimes. We all go a little mad sometimes. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. And if you're in space, they can't hear you scream. Life ends pretty fast. Some screams fade, but some chills will last. The killers stalk and then they slash. It's the 30-something movie podcast. The clock rings out the midnight chimes. We all go a little mad sometimes. Whatever